Yep, part two. So to begin this, part two of the review, I want to start off with Athelstan pretty much admitting that he's angry with God. You have the scene set up, pretty much begin with Athelstan, everyone's asleep, little kids and all that stuff. And he goes goes to his Bible, looking through the verses and all that stuff, and he says, "Where are you, Lord? Why am I here?" And then pretty much, like I said before, he's saying, I can't believe it. I'm angry with you. Why would you let this happen to me? Why would you leave me with these heathens? Why'd you let my brothers suffer and die in the manner in which they died? You know, just it's understandable why he would feel this way, obviously, being wrecked, from his comfort, like from what he's used you know, to this really foreign culture, vice versa. It was just a really deep scene, just watching it. And then you have the owl show up out of nowhere. And I'm saying to myself, where the hell did the fucking owl get in the house? How'd he get in the house in the first place? But whatever. So he pretty much goes to Bjorn's bunker and he says, "Bjorn, we're going to go find your father and mother like tomorrow." So yeah. After that, ironically, the next day, Ragnar and company returns, and Ragnar speaks with Earl Harrelson. Earl Harrelson says, "Seems as though you have lived up to your reputation, Ragnar." And it seemed like he's trying to, in a way, try to ease the tension between them, kind of saying like they're friends in a way now, la-di-da. And then he asks where Canute is, and Ragnar says Canute's dead. And you have the Earl saying, "Well, did he die in battle?" Ragnar's like, "No." "Well, did he die of sickness?" "No." "What did he die of, man?" Ragnar's like, "I killed him because he tried to rape because he tried to rape my wife." Then you have the Earl saying, "That's very convenient. That you killed him knowing that he was my spy to watch you." And in this instance, I didn't blame, the Earl for being, understandably kind of not believing Ragnar's BS. Because think about it. They've been at each other's throats for years. And then you have Ragnar getting all this success, whatever, and then him constantly, in a way, disrespecting you or challenging your authority. And you have, like, it makes sense. So he basically tries to have Ragnar arrested in chains, and before they could do it, you have Ragnar's boys, Floki, Left, One Eye, Torsten, and Lagtha included, having these dudes with the knives to their throat. Ragnar's like, let it go, it's whatever, just let them do what they gotta do. And then Ragnar pretty much says to the Earl before he departs, "If your wife Siggy was in that situation, if she was about to get raped, would you have not done the same?" Before they, took Ragnar away. So the next scene is very interesting because you have Earl Harrison trying to use Rollo to finally put away his biggest threat in Ragnar. And he says to Rollo, "Is your brother a fair man?" And Rollo's like, to a point. He was saying, "Your brother is an ambitious man. Your brother considers himself the first among equals. He wants to take credit for everything, the boats and all that stuff." And he says, "Rollo, would it have been possible for him to make it to the west without you?" Then Rollo's really thinking about all these little, jabs and all these little, viewpoints, and things, the Emperor's saying to him. Rollo's like, "It would be damn near impossible. Without me." And the Earl has a little smirk on his face, like saying, "Gotcha, bitch," pretty much, saying he's wheeling them in and all that stuff. And it's ironic because the seer's right there, and you can see him kind of smiling, so you don't even know what he's thinking. So pretty much continuing on, we have the Earl saying that you want to impress the gods. As a great warrior and all that stuff. Rollo's like, "I already have impressed the gods. I am a great warrior. I'm already renowned." And the Earl says something really impactful. "No, you're not, and you will never get the gods' approval because you're still stuck in your brother's shadow. You are still stuck in Ragnar Lothbrok's shadow. Until you get out of that shadow, you will always be second fiddle." And you could tell Rollo had that look, which he really did not like to hear that. But at the same time, it was like, you know what? He most likely is right. everything he says has some, you know what I mean, has some legitimacy to it, you know what I mean, to it, some fire to it. So you have him saying, bring his daughter in, saying that he needs, a strong man and ambitious and profitable man for his daughter to marry, and that saying that he used to have two sons. And it's interesting when he said I used to have two sons in the look. So obviously something bad happened to him. We already know, just by him saying that they died, but you're wondering which manner did they die. So, and he was saying, pretty much that a son-in-law would practically be my son. And since, he'll be my son, that means he can get anything he wants pretty much. And then you have Siggy, like, ooh, who is this? And she comes right back in, comes right in the thing. She says, you forgot to introduce me, love? And then he introduces her to Rollo. You could tell that first Rollo looked at her daughter and he was like, ooh, she's hot. And then he looks at Siggy, he's like, my God, I hit the jackpot, Just like you never seen such a beautiful creature like that before. So, pretty much, the rest of the episode, you have the trial. Ragnar's brought in. You have Lagtha bring the children to watch, whatever, and all Ragnar's friends and, shipmates and shit are there. So, you have Ragnar saying to the... No, fuck that. Let's start off with what the Earl said. The Earl said, this is an ambitious man. He wants to take the credit for everything. He resents the fact that he owes his fealty and his loyalty to me. And he constantly disrespects me at every opportunity and chance he gets. This man does not follow our traditions or our laws, And that was, and he was saying that he killed my brother. He is a murderer and he is a criminal, essentially. And it's funny, that dude, whoever that actor's name that plays Earl Harrison, he does such a great job. You can really feel the weight of his words. So you have, Ragnar saying to the people, following that, if your wife was getting raped or raped, what would you have done? You're not going to let him do that. He's going to stand by? Hell no. You're going to kill him. Or damn near try to, And that was Ragnar's argument. It was a really good argument. You have Lagtha saying, well, trying to tell the Earl that I killed him. Then you got the Earl saying a really sexist comment. He's like, look at you. You couldn't have killed him. This man, look at him. He killed my brother. You know what I mean? And then you have his little dwarf, little enforcer saying, well, it's kind of ironic. Both husband and wife are witnesses to the crime, And people all laughing and shit, whatever. And then you have the Earl calling in Rollo. And he's first saying, yeah, I got this. Rollo's going to say his brother did it. And it's over. I got this threat next. This motherfucker is dead. I can just rest easy. And then Rollo pretty much said Ragnar did kill Canute, but in self-defense. Then you got the Earl. He gave him that look like, oh shit. God, what do I have to do to beat this guy? Or in a sense, that looked like, I don't know if I can beat him. It seemed like every obstacle I put in front of Ragnar, he finds some way to overcome it. That was just the type of look I got from him. So after that, you have the celebration with Ragnar and his friends. You have him telling Athelstan he's thankful for him taking care of his children, that he was a good Christian, And then at some point, you have Earl Harrison pretty much sending men to kill, Ragnar and company. And they was able to kill successfully one of them, Eric Martin, the tall guy, the tall blonde guy that Ragnar was always with. With the other guy left. So after that, pretty much, I believe the bodies were sent over to the Great Hall in Kattegat for the Earl and his little midget enforcer to see. Ragnar is mourning, and the rest of the company is mourning the death of Eric Martin. And then you see, pretty much for the last scenes of the episode, you see Ragnar's enraged. He's chopping wood one-handed with serious force and shit. You have him just being a bad man. You see him pretty much going to the mountains. You're having Athelstan watch everything he does, and he's wondering, asking Lagtha, what is he planning on doing? Because it seems like he's preparing himself to do something. And then he realizes it and says, I know what he's going to do to Lagtha. Then you have Ragnar in the episode with his eyes pierced.